Hey guys, I can't see the chat log yet, so I have no idea what you're saying. Ah, there we are! Bah! Gotcha! Hold on, let me post it on Facebook and Twitter, and then we'll get started. All right. Can you guys hear me? All right, we're good. We're working. Is this working? Hmm. If you can hear what I'm saying, type "This is our science." Yes. Okay, it works. Awesome. Oh man, what a hilarious day. Okay. No more. This is our science. um, hey guys, how's it going? So, how's your day been? Pretty good. It's been all right. So weird. What color would the hovercraft be? Fucking hot pink, man. If I'm gonna have a hovercraft, I want everybody to see that motherfucker. Thank you. That's a pretty nice handle you got there. Astro is the best. Hot pink is definitely the way to go. If you're gonna go flashy and hover, this is really weird and scary. I'm not really sure why this is happening. It seemed like a really good idea. Okay. Football. Settle down. We'll talk football later. Well, I don't even know how to begin with this. Well, I basically, yeah, yes, Eminem is my brother. I decided to do this so that you guys could ask me any questions that you wanted about the record, about what the songs were about, or anything like that. Um, that is a pretty cute cup, right? Uh, you guys hear advertisements? I thought I paid so you guys didn't have to hear advertisements. Um, so I put this together so that you guys could ask me any questions that you wanted about the record, about ugh, ads, so stupid. How can I avoid that? Favorite song on the album? Yeah, okay, let's do this. Questions about the record. Let's start there. Got any questions about the record? Alright, let's start with the personal favorite. Um, and then we'll get to the collaborating with indie artists and then the promo distribution question. I think for me, like the song "Measure the Globe" feels like a future for me. It feels like a next step for me. So that song definitely felt like I was stepping out of what I had been doing and out of a safety zone in a really big way and really kind of doing something that was totally new for me. Um, so for me, like the songs that I'm always the most interested in are the songs that I feel like challenge me the most. And "Measure the Globe" and "Secrets on Our Lips" were the two that were like the most scary for me to make. when I like when Contrails was coming together, it was like, man, this song is like when Tegan sent me her verse, her choruses like that was just like, man, it was just a slam dunk. It just felt right. And some songs are like that, and some songs are super terrifying. Um, and the ones that were super terrifying are the ones that are definitely the ones that excite me the most. Measure the Globe and Secrets I Don't Know, which are the two that I really love the most. Let's go back, and what else do we have? How did I come to work with indie artists? The POS fake out. Come on, man, that was hilarious. You're gonna get so much POS when the fake before Fist record is done. Atmosphere agrees. I don't know, maybe. How did I come to work with indie artists? Go back to that question. I mean, I never grew up around like a lot of rap guys. Like most of my friends are indie rock dudes, and I learned how to make music from Radical Face, who's like a really fantastic indie rock musician, and then so those people were always just kind of more around than rap producers. This was kind of the first record that I ever really worked with rap producers. Yeah, Radical Face is fucking brilliant. He's the guy who taught me how to make music. Like, I was just a rapper who had a really good record collection, and he taught me how to like make those two come together when we made the Mighty Ocean. Like, New and Your Good Ideas was just him kind of straightening some stuff out for me, and Mighty Ocean was kind of really the one where he taught me how to do it. I'm super excited for his new record. I've heard a bunch of his new record, and it's fucking mind blowing. Hey, what's up, Fierce Kitty? How you doing? There was a question back about how, if anything about distribution and promotion for this record changed. That's something I really want to talk about, because it is, I think, kind of really important. There really isn't much that changed about distribution and promotion, other than the fact that I had a record label this time that actually really worked the record, and I had a small PR company that really cared about the record. For the previous record, we had a PR guy working in-house for the record label, and he quit in the middle because his band got signed, which I don't blame him for doing. That's what I would do. And then the records before that, none of the PR people ever really cared. And these people actually really care. They're a super small company out of Athens, Georgia, called Team Claremont, and they just really give a damn. They're not like a big name. They're not expensive. They just helped, and they loved it. But the thing I think is the most incredible about all of this that's happened today, and why I'm really, really glad that we're doing this today, as opposed to last night when I originally intended to do it, is that we don't have any advertising. There's no advertising budget whatsoever. All of those other artists that are in the top 20 on iTunes are all like, they all have iTunes features and paid, all these crazy spots, and like, this is all from like word of mouth. This is all from fans. This is all from Facebook and Twitter. This is all from you guys, and that's the most insane thing ever. So like, really, that's kind of the thing that's the most continuous through all of these records, is that like, we've never really had a huge push or a help from it, anything in a major way. Like, everything has always just been people that are fans, and when magazines write reviews, those people are fans. Like, that's why I very rarely have a bad review, because the people that are writing reviews are the people that just love it. Like, Pitchfork doesn't touch my shit. But like, people like Absolute Punk and Consequence of Sound just like die for it, and that's the illest, man. That's the illest. Yeah, so that's the common thread. It's always word of mouth. So you guys are my advertising campaign, DIY to the death. What song did you come up with very first on the new album? Okay. Oh my God! Holy cow! Slow down, everybody. Let's all slow down. We're gonna slow down. Okay, this is so much. Oh. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna scroll back. Stop the questions for a second. Just relax. Okay, we all hate Pitchfork. That's fine. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go song by song. That'll keep it sort of organized. I know. You guys are there's so much happening. Okay. song by song. First song, River of the Woods. Anybody have any River of the Woods questions? Okay, what is it about inspiration? Let's stop there. Stop. How did it come together? I can answer all this in one. It's actually about a dream that a friend of mine had about how tall am I? I'm 150 feet tall. I'm I'm really tall. It's a huge bedroom that I'm in right now. Um, the River of the Woods is about a dream that a friend of mine had about us wandering through this gigantic suburban home that was half forest and half home. And the same night that I had a dream about her as well. We both had two separate dreams, two separate cities. We both dreamt about each other, and it was really strange. And we dreamt about she dreamt about us getting lost in this giant house, and I had a dream about that I took her out into the woods and wandered her really far out into the woods, and even though I knew how to get back, I pretended not to know how to get back and try to make her guide me back. And I started to really think about that, and I really love that concept of pushing someone, to their limit, and pushing someone out of their comfort zone, and making them. Oh yeah, I should put my phone on vibrate. Yeah, good point. Thank you. Pushing someone to their limit, pushing them past their comfort zone, and making them figure it out. And I feel like so often in the business that I'm in, and also in the medium, the art that I'm in, it's kind of where the best work gets done when I'm pushed to something scary, and then when I have to kind of fight my way out. That's what I like the best. That's kind of what the River of the Woods is about. How it came together was I'd been trying to write a song about that forever, and then Picnic Time finally he had a beat tape out, and I heard that beat. Yeah, of course I sing. She was my album. I sing all over the damn thing. And yeah, I'm a history nerd. I made a record called that was the genre for this record is historical fiction hip hop. That whole bookshelf back there is mostly like history of science books and just general history books. Let's do song by song, and then we'll kind of get to generic questions. What am I reading right now? I'm trying to finish book 3 of Song of Fire and Ice before I leave. Um, uh, yeah, it's really good. I'm a total fantasy nerd, and I've started reading them. I've just been plowing through them. I have like 100 pages left, and it's killing me that I'm not reading it right now. But I wanted to do this instead. Um, yeah. Uh, okay, slow down, slow down, slow down. Yeah, no, right on seduction theory, like totally. Because everybody dies. I'm on book 3. I've already learned that lesson. Um, okay, so cool. Um, that was song 1. Any more questions about the River of the Woods? All right, going once, going twice, sold. This is our science. Anybody got any questions about This Is Our Science? The song This Is Our Science. Yeah, the burial in the backyard is a kind of constant thing for me. Um, yeah, there's a lot of references to sort of dying in your own in my music about dying in your own home or dying in your own bed or being buried in your backyard. You'll find that kind of scattered throughout. There's some even I think there's a reference to some on maybe on Story of My Life. Maybe I referenced that. Yeah, Story of My Life. Yeah, totally. And then I think I'll probably even continue to reference it on Four Fists. That's kind of a continual theme for me about well, that's always meant, yeah, that's always meant to me like that idea of just dying dying, inside the thing that you built, like inside the castle you've made. Like I really don't. I don't fancy the idea of like getting sick and trying to fight it out in a hospital bed or anything like that. I feel like that there's something very noble about like when it's all said and done, just standing inside the castle that you've built, whatever that may be, whether it's an actual castle or just a tiny little house in the middle of nowhere, and kind of just claiming it as your own and being buried there forever. Um, POS is not on speakerphone for his verse. His verse. POS recorded that in the middle of what made me use those words from Steph's song. I met Steph. I guess it's important to talk about what that song is about. How old am I? I'm 29 years old. And for the person who keeps asking how tall I am, on a real good day I'm 6 feet, but I'm probably more like 5'11" and a half. Uh, the song is about my friend Isaiah Toothtaker and my friend POS. And it's about these two people that are two very different people, with two very good friends of mine that I've known that I've known for quite some time, uh, and about how both of them are doing really pretty amazing things, I think, in their life, and doing it in their very own way. Um, and uh, and I feel like I met Isaiah in 2004. I met both Isaiah and Steph in 2004. Did you pay for the science and purchase well, slow down. Okay, hold on. And Toothtaker had this idea once where he was gonna start carrying a gun on his hip to prevent people from trying to fight him, because he kind of grows up and lives in a pretty tough area, and he's always kind of getting in scuffles or whatever, and it worked. And I thought that was pretty amazing. Um, yeah, I thought that was pretty incredible. And then Steph, you're gonna hear a lot of this on the new Doomfree record and the new POS record, and even on the Four Fists record. But he and I are pretty similar people in a lot of ways, and that's why we've always gotten along. And we've really both kind of, without even talking about it, sort of been on this kick of like really, building your own path and creating your own future, and not really, abiding by anybody's rules. And that's kind of the whole theme, the overarching theme of the album. My roommates have a dog. Wow, this microphone's great. Um, uh, there is no date or time frame for the Four Fists. Tell you a Toothtaker story you've never heard. That dog's not hungry, I promise you that. One of my favorite Toothtaker stories ever of all time. Alright, I'll talk about what inspired me, and then I'll tell the Toothtaker story so I can answer that question. Because that's the whole theme of the album. The whole theme about the album is about like all of my friends and myself, who all just created their own paths. Like we didn't have a way to go about doing these things. We if we wanted to be musicians, we just kind of got in vans and toured around the country. Isaiah wanted to start this tattoo shop and kind of went through a bunch of shit, in his town, and fought a bunch of adversity and stuff to just trying to get his life together and his business on track, and he's killing it. Like, and all of us are, none of us are doing this like in a clean way. None of us are doing this because we were trained, and no one's been kind of like scooped up in somebody's arms and taught how to do all this. We've all just done it our own way, and that's, to me, been the most inspiring thing for me in the last like 7 years, and all the thousands of miles that I've driven, and all the people that I've met, is that all the people that I've met and the people that I've come to love are doing things their own way and making their own path, and whether it's the music that they make or the way they're raising their family, or like, all the kids that start these incredible squats over in Europe that I play in, like everybody's building their own path, and to me that feels pretty incredible, and it's super inspiring, and that sort of feels like you're building your own science. You're making your own universal laws. And so that was the inspiration for the song This Is Our Science. And then as the record started to come together, I realized that was the inspiration for the whole record, and so I named it This Is Our Science. Attraction to like powerful. vocal exercises or tricks are something I could talk about for a long time. The one thing that I'll recommend to everybody, I've never lost my voice. I've played almost 1,000 shows. I played with strep throat and sinus infections. I've never lost my voice, and I would recommend that everybody who's a performer or uses their voice in any capacity, you get the book The Right to Speak by Patsy Rodenberg. The Right to Speak by Patsy Rodenberg. The Right to Speak by Patsy Rodenberg, and drink whiskey. Thoughts on working with Rookie Sensation Mike Weavy? Mike Weavy is my boy. Mike Weavy is like my brother. That dude is the coolest, and I was so stoked to have him on the album. He and I are working on a Eurotrash dance record called Kiosk. Stay tuned for that. The right, as in R-I-G-H-T, not the rights to speak, but the privilege to speak. Yeah, universal privilege. There you go. Thanks for the link. Favorite whiskey, bourbon, scotch. I like scotch. I prefer single malt scotches. I like Speyside scotches or late scotches. I really like the Balvenie Doublewood 12-year. It's really good, like inexpensive scotch. Like you can ball outrageous on scotches, but that's a really good like mid-level $35 bottle of scotch. Actually, it's just tea. I forgot to get booze because I was just too busy on the internet today. But when it comes down to it, Jim Beam on the rocks, splash of water, goddamn dream. Do you think we create our own science due to the fact of adaptation? Like we create our own paths because we don't have a choice? I think some of it's because you don't have a choice, and some of it's because you just have the passion and the desire to do it, that you don't give a fuck. You record any of this album anywhere in the studio? Recorded the vocals for Midday Moon in Picnic Time's house. Old Crow's, man, Burley, respect. You can go to the Redwood in Seattle, Washington, and get an Ole and a Crow for $5. That's the dam right there. Greaves is cool, man. He's the homie, man. I like that dude. He's got some cool songs too. He's like he's a super sincere guy. Like he's really passionate and believes in everything that he's writing. I'm totally running for Space Pope, 2024 Space Pope. I'm gonna go full reptilian. Okay, so where are we? We're still at This Is Our Science. We'll get to contrails. Don't worry. We're working through the album. Believe in astrology? No. Favorite TV show? The Wire. No question. The Space Pope is reptilian. True. I'm the most excited to perform Secrets on Our Lips. Totally. Do I ever see myself being a wealthy man? No, I really don't. Favorite book of all time? Winter's Tale by Mark Halperin. Winter's Tale by Mark Halperin. How long does this album take to write? 3 years. Stay away from your neighbor's Brian's face. Yeah. Are we on Thomas Jefferson? Oh, hold on 1 second. Slow down. Let's stop. This Is Our Science. Any more questions about the song This Is Our Science? Any more questions? Favorite work by Scott Fitzgerald is An Offshore Pirate. That's the really awesome one about the case of Florida mud. I got a personal. Speakers Going Hammer, without a question. Blammer. Okay, so now we're done with This Is Our Science. So now what are we on? Thomas Jefferson. Yeah. Oh, Tooth Taker story. Real quick Tooth Taker story. One of the first times I ever met Tooth Taker, we were hanging out in Tucson. We were sitting out in front of this club. We always used to go to called the Vaudeville. No, Midday Moon is the first song written for the record. We were sitting out at this club that we used to always go to called the Vaudeville, where I used to play my shows in Tucson, and his like cousin came up or something like that. She's this girl. She's like 18 or 19, and she was on a date with some boy. And all these dudes, like Isaiah and like my manager Harpoon Larry and all of us, are all sitting around outside, and this guy stands kind of off on the curb while we're on the patio, and the girl comes up, and Isaiah sees the guy like off in the distance, like kind of like cowering back, and he just goes, "Hey, you, come here," and the kid like terrified, like shambles over, and he goes, "What are you doing, man? What are you doing?" He's like, nothing. He's like, "I'll tell you what you're not doing. You're not introducing yourself. Hi, my name's Isaiah. Nice to meet you. What's your name?" Shakes his hand and goes, "Good. Now we introduce ourselves, because that's what men do. Men introduce themselves." I remember thinking that was the most incredible thing ever of all time. He scared the ever-loving crap out of that kid. But hopefully he taught him to shake his hand firmly and introduce himself. So that was pretty good. Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson questions.
Hmm.
Before we go on, The River the Woods, the beat was made by Picnic Time. We added some drums with Mackenzie Smith from Midlake, pianos with Chad Stockslager, and then Daniel Hart, who does like strings for the National and St. Vincent and stuff, did strings on that. This is our science. The beat was made by Ted Gowans, who plays guitar for Tegan and Sarah, and also produced the Fences record. He's awesome. And we added some live drums, same crew, and added some piano. And then Chad Stockslager did all those crazy, super high gospel parts where he's amazing. He's this tiny little white guy who can sing like a big fat black lady. It's incredible. Okay. Thomas Jefferson, based on a specific. Okay. Slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. Okay, let's go back. We're going to go back. Stop questions for a second. Thomas Jefferson is not based on a particular historical event. It's based on a Thomas Jefferson quote. It's we will be soldiers, so our sons may be farmers, so their sons may be artists, I think is what the quote is. I'm butchering it a little bit. But, oh, good Lord. There's actually supposed to be a factor beat on the record, but I'll get into that in a minute. It didn't work out. Just, it's a lot of stuff. I'm definitely not going to freestyle. Sorry, y'all. Yeah, so this Thomas Jefferson quote, and that kind of really rang true for me because it felt like my grandparents and my parents and my rest of my family have all worked so hard to make sure that like I got to live a comfortable life and go to school and pursue like all of my dreams, and so it's always felt like while I never was like incredibly wealthy and my parents haven't paid for my record career, I was always had a place to live and two people that really loved me to no end, and I felt like it everything that they had sacrificed so that I could be happy would be a total waste if I didn't be the happiest that I could possibly be. That it would be a total waste if I didn't fully pursue my art, and that was something that Sims and I talked about at length when we were kind of writing that song, about how when we actually wrote the song just to play live on tour, and then ended up just progressing and getting stronger and stronger and just becoming such a great song that we put it on the record. But that idea of like being obligated to make art, because if you have the power or the potential to make art and you don't actually do it full out and with all your heart, then you're wasting a really incredible gift, and that's kind of the most selfish and evil thing that I think you can do, because everybody came before you so that you could do that. Mike was totally sober, but completely hungover when he recorded that. How long did it take me to write the verse for Thomas Jefferson? This chorus took a lot longer. I went through like 5 versions of that chorus. The verse like came together in about a night. We will be soldiers, so our sons may be farmers, so their sons may be artists. Great, perfect, incredibly cool, good quote. I told Sims that I had written my verse about like being a soldier, and then he was going to write his verse about being a farmer, and then the entire song is essentially encapsulating all of us being an artist, me, Sims, and Mike. So it's a personal take on a classic quote, yeah. Why do Isaiah and POS not have a verse in the song? Because the song's about them. It's not always about like putting someone on a song because you want them on a song. It's about putting someone on a song because they make sense on a song, and that's why Steph was on Story of My Life, and that's why Isaiah was on I'm Never Right. Like, yeah. And that song was about them. Like I wanted them to just be on it to like kind of acknowledge that they're there, but it was always just going to be I'm writing a song about them. Laserbeak made that beat. He's another Doomtree dude. And touring with Sims and knowing POS, and also more than anything coming to Minneapolis so much to work on 4/5 stuff with Steph was why I moved to Minneapolis. The city is just, for my money's worth, the most exciting thing, and it's the most exciting city in America. It just gets me so pumped, the way that people are constantly working and they're really passionate about each other and really supportive, and that's very rare to come across, and it's very cool. And I just would be so sad every time that I would leave, and so I decided to just fuck it and make it my home. Laserbeak is getting crazy with his beats. Wait till you guys hear No Kings. I got to listen to No Kings last night, and that shit is unreal. You're gonna lose your fucking mind. It's so fucking cool. Um, I still got tons of love for Jacksonville. It's my hometown, you know. But you spend a lot of time in your hometown, and then you have to go see something else. Any new tattoos since the 100,000 on your wrist? Yeah, I got a No Kings tattoo right there on my finger. You can barely see it. It's the No Kings symbol. I have heard Dessa's new record. It's beautiful. Um, I don't like to sound the same. I like all my records should be different. I don't want my records. I want them to kind of have a constant through. There should be some sort of theme. Bombs in my room. Holy Christ. Um, I haven't been weirded out by Astro Lyric tattoos. There's a bunch of people who have them now, and I think it's the coolest thing ever. It totally blows my mind, but you know, it's totally amazing. Um, I'm, I love Colorado, but I don't think I'm going to move there. I like Minneapolis. I just moved here. Always trying to upgrade my wardrobe. You can always dress nicer. Um, I try not to listen to my new songs because, or my old songs rather, because they kind of make me uncomfortable. There's some that I still really like, but um, you know, I'm move on. My next piece is always my best piece. Um, is there any track on the album I lost sleep over? Like most of them. I'm a fucking mess when I make a record. Like I don't sleep at all. Yeah, if you ever talk to Harpoon Larry, he can attest to this. Like I never sleep on tour. I sleep in the car a little bit. Um, I'm a total mess when I make a record. I worry about like one line. When I wrote Wondersmith and His Sons, I wrote a whole record, that whole song in like a night, and then it took me 2 years to write the last 4 lines. I do not own a fax machine. Was this 1986? I do not want to heat your music. um, I feel totally, completely distraught and hopeless when a song isn't working out. I feel like a complete and total failure. It's a total fucking disaster and a nightmare. The instrument I wrote choice is definitely Young Jeezy. Um, yeah, it's when I make a record, I'm a fucking mess. Like I'm so stressed out, and man, don't come on this try to me your music. That's not how it works. Um, I didn't have a side in my mind when I made My Dinner with Andy, but I loved that song, and it just kind of came out, and all of a sudden it was there, and I didn't even realize I'd done it until after we finished the record. Um, I would any place I would rather do a gig. I'd love to do a gig in Tehran. Absolutely, totally. I want to go to Iran so bad, but being a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white guy is a little tough to do that. Um, okay, slow down, guys. Okay, let's slow down. All right. Um, yeah. Gaddafi's not in Iran. Sorry, everybody stop. We gotta stop. Stop, 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 stop. We're gonna continue to just go song by song. Thomas Jefferson. Any other questions about Thomas Jefferson? Thomas Jefferson, going once, going twice. Great. What's after Thomas Jefferson? Measure the Globe? Is that what's after Thomas Jefferson? I can't remember. It's not a good look for me, huh? Um, let's go on iTunes here and see what my song order is. Okay, great. Why do I move back and forth between indie rock and the ballad type songs like Thomas Jefferson and Measure the Globe? Because I can. I mean, that's kind of the whole. It seems like an oversimplification, but like that's what's in the canteen. It's iron guanyin tea. Thanks to Tea Source and St. Paul for hooking that up. Because I can. I mean, like one of the things that Radical Face taught me really early on is that there's no rules to making music. You can make whatever the hell you want, and if it doesn't work, then you can always just hit Apple Z and undo what you did. And so when you have an idea, you try an idea. There's no bad idea. Um, and so if I want to make a folk song, then I make a folk song. If I want to make a gangster rap song, I make a gangster rap song. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, I delete it. It's no big deal. Or I try it again. Um, um, okay, let's slow down. I do what I want, Andy. Let's stick with Measure the Globe. Measure the Globe questions. Alphabet's gone. Favorite line in the song is so I cover my hand in tattoos and I kiss any woman that moves. There's no Lord to forgive me, and physics is tricky, and all that I'm left with is you. Yeah. What inspired me to write the Measure the Globe was thinking about like how my business continues to get better, my art continues to get better, I continue to get more fans, and uh, sometimes it makes my personal life in total shambles. Like it's harder and harder for me to be a real person sometimes, because I just have become so obsessive with my work and my music, and the you and all that I'm left with is you is about the audience. Like all of these things are just falling apart. If all these things are falling apart, all I've got when it comes down to it is you guys. You become my best friend and my girlfriend. So yeah, that's kind of the heart of Measure the Globe, is that everything's kind of messy, but uh, no matter what, I always got you guys to fall back on. Yeah, my room is pretty empty. I haven't had a lot of time to decorate since I moved in. I've got a bearskin rug, and that's about it. What are those symbols? There's something with hearts in his eyes. Okay. It's pretty. I'm just now getting to where fans are singing lyrics, and that's pretty fucking crazy to me. Still, it still kind of blows my mind. Measure the Globe was recorded in the barber shop around the time of the Fake Ford Fest last year. I was in LA for the Fake Ford Fest. Um, wow, so much. Okay. Yeah, man, I'd have loved to have done a song with idea for sure. Um, yeah, it was proper. Who's playing the music? Measure the Globe was written by my friend Rick Collado, who was the lead singer of a band that I loved in Jacksonville growing up called Julius Airwave, and now performs under the name Rickouls, Rickouls. You need to get his records. He's just such a brilliant musician, and I've known him since I was like, he's a real good friend of mine and Radical Faces, and they're in a group together. They're making an opera together, actually, him and Ben. We've all known each other since we were teenagers, and he was the first person I ever saw in bands, and he was a huge inspiration for me, and like just seeing kids make music. Like I'd never seen that before in my life, and he's always been super exciting, and I've always wanted to make a song with him, and finally we got the chance to do it, and he wrote the music for that, and then I wrote the words. What inspires me to get out of bed in the morning and bust ass at what I do? I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I feel like I have to. That's all. It's yeah. I just feel like I have to. I wish that I had a better answer for you. How much of the music do you write on your own? This record, very little. I only wrote Holy Water. Um, Pomegranate was the one that I wrote the most on. Pomegranate and You and Your Good Ideas. I wrote almost everything on Pomegranate and almost everything on You and Your Good Ideas, and then I get people to kind of add stuff. Hey, what's up, Delaney? How you doing? I spend way more time on the internet than you do. um, I will be freestyling at my shows. I will be playing uh, in bands in the future and under bridges. Um, and I will be playing with my band on this tour. I cover a lot about that. Favorite part about playing at Guthrie, I've got a theater degree. It was like a dream come true to play at the Guthrie. That was good enough for me. Um, my Facebook will just have to wait. What am I doing after the show in Vegas? Hopefully not getting arrested. Um, maybe back to Funk and Waffles someday. We'll see. Okay, so where are we at? I'm definitely doing another mixtape. I'll definitely probably be doing one in a dancehall horn sound fashion with Fisher Price. I'm also working on a mixtape, a completely like autobiographical kind of super rap mixtape with Plain Old Bill from here in Minneapolis. So more mixtapes will be happening. I do not smoke weed. I used to smoke weed, but I'm retired from all that. Just whiskey, women, coffee now. My advice for musicians that want to follow the dream and get out and follow the dream is get the fuck out and do it. Like, get in your car, go on tour, play shows. Like my first tour had 12 shows. It was like Texas, Portland, Oregon, Lansing, Michigan, Troy, New York, Portland, Maine. Like we had so many days off and we slept in the car and we ate ramen noodles and we just did that. Like that, you just do it. You don't. No one's gonna help you except for you. So just fucking do it. I wish that I had a better way to advise you guys, but that's really it. Just get used to loving fucking ramen noodles and do it. Um, uh, how does Plain Old Bill smell? Like a dream. Um, no, I can't answer what Without Put 2 Weeks Notice is about because it was just it was a dream. All those freestyles are just dreams, so it's just what my subconscious has. Um, was there any random order to the songs? uh, some of the songs, like I knew right off the bat that The River of the Woods was going to be the first song. Like it just felt that way. I knew that Lift the Curse was going to be the last song. Um, this record was kind of the least about the order of the songs, whereas Mighty Ocean was the most about the order. Like everything was super planned out. Like I wrote that record and arranged it like the way that I would approach like directing a play, which is what I was like trained to do in school. Like I'm not a trained musician at all. Um, Pomegranate was really kind of about like a sort of overarching story as well too, and this one was more about just the flow of the record and really making sure that the concept of the songs were tight. This was more about the individual songs than like where Mighty Ocean is really like about like this kind of like 4-act opera. Um, how I feel about Lil Wayne. I'm not wearing pants. I'm wearing cut-off jean shorts. Hey. Yeah. Um, I will probably do songs of soul. I'm always, uh, I always, I always love doing songs of soul. Um, yes, those are clothes drying on the shelf back there. I'm doing laundry. I'm trying to pack. Carter 2. Carter 2 is the jam. Carter 3 is alright. It's good, but Carter 2 is the jam. Um, yeah, okay. We're gonna get there. Don't worry, Darby. Okay, slow down. Never nudes. Oh, God. This is so insane. The internet's such a crazy fucking place. Um, I will one day play Down and Out in the Bold New City of the South. Not this tour, but soon. It's gonna happen. I have to play it. No, I could not have the same success that I have without the existence of the internet. Absolutely not. Um, I'm still reading that Victor Martin. All right, so let's slow down. Um, where were we? That was Dmitry or no, we're on Dmitry Mendeleev. Is that what we're on? We're on Dmitry Mendeleev. Yeah. Book recommendations. We'll do this one really quick, and then we'll get back on track. I know I'm kind of all over the place. Uh, yeah, of course, A Brief History of Nearly Everything by Bill Bryson. I would also recommend anything by Oliver Sacks, especially The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat. It's totally, totally incredible. I really like anything by Carl Sagan, sort of like kind of the hit parade on that, and Malcolm Gladwell stuff's incredible too. Who's calling me? Don't you know I'm on the internet? Don't be calling me. Um, all right, okay, yeah, Oliver Sacks, he's the genius. Um, Oh yeah, the mountain climbing one. Yeah, Conquistadors of the Useless by Lionel Terray. That's the guy that I cite on Contrails. Lionel Terray. We're all conquistadors of the useless. Yeah. Uh, so Dmitry Mendeleev. Wow. No dubstep influence on Dmitry Mendeleev. You'll take that up with Alias, who made the beat. Uh, the aspect of Dmitry Mendeleev is based on the legend that he discovered or developed, depending on who you ask, the periodic table of elements while he was on. It came to him in a dream because he used to play this game when he was writing on it. Yeah, Dmitry Mendeleev is a real person. He discovered the periodic table of elements. He would ride on a train. Uh, at, at the time, everybody was discovering elements. We were starting to understand the world was made up of thousands of chemicals, and and uh, and and then discovering how they broke down into individual atoms, and um, but no one knew how to arrange them. We had started to discover all of these things. We didn't know how to arrange them and shape them, and it became sort of an ultimate challenge for chemists. And Dmitry Mendeleev used to just teach the deck of playing cards, and he wrote all the known elements uh, on cards in the cards, and he would just sit on trains when he was traveling between universities to give lectures and arrange the elements with cards, just kind of shift them around and move them around and try to make them make sense. He could never really get one that was really logical. And then it just kind of came to him in a dream to arrange them originally by atomic weight. And once you arrange them by atomic weight, then they can be arranged like crossways and backwards and forwards and sideways. And the repeating patterns are periodic. Hence the name periodic table of elements. And I love that idea of the vision coming to him in a dream, but also just the idea of like when you look at the periodic table of elements, um, uh, that's the universe right there. The whole thing is right there. And this was all inspired actually by an episode of Radio Lab where they interview Oliver Sacks, and he has a little wooden chest. Um, Dude, it's a weird complex. All my songs are stupid complex. Like, if you want a song about a gold watch, go somewhere else, man. Um, Oliver Sacks had a chest that has all of the periodic table, all the elements that can be contained. And he was just holding this chest in this interview for Radiolab, which is an amazing show. Radiolab is a huge inspiration for this record. Um, uh, and he was just holding it, and he was like, "This is the universe. This is what makes up the universe. The whole entire universe is everything in this. Everything that's on the periodic table of elements. When you hold that sheet up, that's the entire universe. That's what makes up you, and that's what makes up everything." And I started to think about that, and then I remember the Joni Mitchell song, where she says, "We are stardust, we are golden," and the idea like that we're all made up of little bits of stars, and that at any given time you have elements of Shakespeare's atoms in your body because the atoms are constantly recycling and generating, and you have bits of Shakespeare and Alexander the Great and other planets and everything. It's all trapped inside of you, and that idea was just like so fucking empowering. Yeah, and that's what Dmitry Mendeleev is about. Like that's what gives me my fucking power. Yeah. I was a Bill Nye the Science Guy fan when I was growing up. He was really cool. Um, I don't know who Hermes Trismegistus is. Trismegistus, that's intense. Email me and tell me about that person. I would love to know. Um, why did I go with a more full sound? This is our science because I really just wanted every song to be like a fucking explosion. I wanted everything to just be like bigger than Trouble Hunters and fucking humongous. I wanted it to. The idea of the whole record is to get people to make people feel powerful, to make me feel powerful, to make the audiences feel powerful, and I wanted every song to feel fucking powerful. I want it to be a record that makes you want to like just fucking run or ride your bike as fast as possible, or I want it to make you just feel fucking crazy inside your skin and move so fast that your skeleton just wants to jump out of your skin. And so I wanted every song to be thick, so there's like layers and layers of drums and tons of shit going on at all times. Yeah. So that's Dmitry Mendeleev. The beat was made by Alias from Anticon, who's a fantastic producer. He makes beats for Sage Francis and B. Dolan and tons of Anticon guys as well too. He's a genius, and he made that beat. Uh, have the sales exceeded your expectations? Yes. I had no expectation of even being on the iTunes charts today. Didn't think that would even happen. The idea was absurd to me. When I heard we were number 20, it blew my fucking mind. And I figured like that's where we'll sit. And the fact that we made it up to 10, I don't even know what we're at now. Where are we at now? Let's go look at that. Yep, still at number 10. I mean, that's the craziest shit ever. Like, we have no advertising. We have no marketing team. It's 5 people that are all working on this record. And it's mostly me posting on Twitter and Facebook. Yeah, so these sales are way over the top. I thought we were going to sell 50 of those necklaces in the pre-sale. And we sold 4 times. We sold 50 in the first 2 hours. That was totally mind-blowing. I didn't know I had that many fans, to be honest. Yeah, I love playing Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald is awesome. Yes, and Tumblr, of course. I fucking love Tumblr. Um, would I be cool performing on MTV if given the chance? Probably. I mean, it would just depend on the context. If I felt like I could still be myself, like as long as I feel like I can continue to make the music that I want to make. Like I've never made music for anybody, like but my own like personal goals, like artistic goals. As long as I can feel like I can make the music that I want to make, I don't care how big my audience gets. I think that's a youthful naivete to think that an artist should stay trapped, within with 100 people. Um, it's going to change the way your music is made. It's going to change the way your live show is. But I still think that that's exciting. Like, why wouldn't you want really well-made art to be heard by people when there's so much crap that's being heard by people? It doesn't make any sense to me the fucking ire that Modest Mouse gets when they still continue to make interesting and creative records and they push themselves beyond their old roots and their boundaries. And people are just like, oh, whatever now. That's so terrible. I mean, they're a really talented group of people and they make really great music. And I think that's really unfortunate that people get salty just because they're popular now. That's a shame. Doesn't mean, they're any less talented. Like Radiohead, yeah, totally. Okay. Let's slow down. Slow down. Yes, I'm a very big Modest Mouse fan. I've been a Modest Mouse fan since 1997. Fucking, as soon as I heard the Lonesome Crowded West, I bought it the year it came out, and that changed my life. I met Mac Lethal like I don't know, 5 years ago, maybe. He's a homie. He's a good dude. I couldn't think of my favorite Modest Mouse lyric right now. I have to. That's a. Yeah, I don't know. Um, Yes, I do get to keep that crazy cool headdress armor deal from the album cover. Jamie Lynn from Axe and Apple, she's got it at her house, and one day that'll be at my house. I just haven't had time to take care of it yet. Um, it's okay that you didn't purchase my album on iTunes. You have a physical copy. You do not need to buy more than one. If you did, that's fucking incredible. But that's yeah. Um, all right, thanks for coming, Joko Border. Wow, screen names are so funny. Um, okay. Listen to music when you write. I very rarely. Well, there's music that will inspire an album, like Pomegranate. I was listening to Spoon pretty constantly. For this record, I was listening to a ton of. And Pomegranate was like Spoon and Joanna Newsom were kind of like the two big influences for that record. Um, for this one, it was a lot of Rachel's and Max Richter and Johan Johansson and some Jan Tiersen, like a lot of classical music. Funny enough, yeah, and I was reading a lot of that because it helps me kind of focus when I'm reading like kind of denser science books and stuff. Um, and then I've just been listening to tons of like electronic music as well too, like ridiculous dance music, like Boys Noise and Justice and Ed Banger stuff, um, and I've just really loved like the super incredibly huge thick sound of all that, and I wanted to kind of do that, but still keep it organic and pretty. Um, Britt Daniels stole my girl. I'll tell you guys a funny story about Britt Daniel and Derek Jeter being at one of my shows. Um, I was playing a show in Austin, Texas at the Mohawk, and I was upstairs in the green room, and Derek Jeter walked in, and I started freaking out, and I was like, "Who the fuck is Derek Jeter?" And I'm supposed to hate Derek Jeter, but he's kind of one of the only Yankees that I like. I actually would like him, and plus he's like one of the greatest baseball players of all time. Like he's a shoe-in Hall of Famer, easily one of the greatest Yankees of all time. So I was like, pretty fucking stoked, even though I'm a Baltimore Orioles fan. And then Britt Daniels walked in the other end of the green room, and they were all sitting there at the bar. But clearly, like, Britt Daniels doesn't know his asshole from his elbow about baseball, and Derek Jeter doesn't know who the fuck Spoon is. And they're both there with two smoking hot girls sitting on opposite sides of the bar, and I'm the only person in the room that knows who both of these people are. And I just couldn't figure out what I was supposed to do. And I was sending texts to my friends, like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then I had to go back and play my show. And when I got back, my friend Jeff Monton had sent me the best idea for a text ever, where I go to the bartender and I tell the bartender, hey, can you buy a drink for Mr. Jeter and his girlfriend there? But tell him it's from Mr. Daniels and his girlfriend there, and then just watch them meet each other for the first time. Yeah, that's what happened when Derek Jeter was at my show. Okay, so where are we? Dmitry Mendeleev, done. What's after that? Midday Moon. Midday Moon questions? Baltimore did win tonight. Pretty fucking dope. Hold on, what's this? Boom. Yeah, done. Boom. Yeah, done. Baltimore Orioles for life. Midday Moon. Midday Moon was inspired by an episode of This American Life called Mistakes Were Made. And it's about Robert Nelson and the California Cryonics Society, and how he and a group of people tried to cryogenically freeze people to allow people to live forever. Um, yeah, so that's that. Reason for Midday Moon being the first single. It was the first song done. How about that for a marketing strategy? Max Moon's gonna put on the back burner. Both Picnic Time and I have a bunch of cool stuff going on. Like Picnic's making beats for all sorts of people and touring full time with Erykah Badu. Like he's busy as hell, and um, and I got my own shit. Max Moon will happen one day, but it's just gonna. Frontier Psychiatry is the jam. The fucking horse noise over and over again is so dope. Frontier Psychiatry. Um, favorite producer these days? I mean, producer's kind of a weird, like, Nigel Godrich. Like, if I had to work with any producer, I'd work with Nigel Godrich. Um, I had to pick one song to represent me as an artist. Avalanche Patrol. Um, See What Cheats is about making out with a girl that I loved during a hurricane and realizing that I would never be with her. We were never meant to be. Laserbeak and Astronauts, you can hear that. It's the beat for Thomas Jefferson is the Laserbeak beat. I've considered writing prose and short stories, but I'm not in the place yet for it. Like, I won't do it until I feel like I can really do it well, and I'm not right. I'm not there yet. I'm not ready for it. I don't have all that much to say yet. The advice that I have for a rapper trying to get started is listen to tons of rap music and practice. Fucking never stop, man. Never eating pickles in the pool. Of course, I'm in a neutral milk hotel. Yeah. Any songs influenced by Rat-a-Tat? I'm trying to feel like if I have a song. I mean, I really love like the super long attack stuff that they do, like on synthesizer sounds. So I've definitely borrowed that at some point, but nothing like super heavy. Cecil B is Lift the Curse. What kind of light bulb is my lamp? It's probably like one of those the newfangled fluorescent dudes. Um, Version of the Midday Moon that's on Bandcamp is not the same as the one on the album. We definitely changed some mixing things and beefed up the ending. We might just sell the necklace the necklace alone. We're working on details on that. It's going to take some time. Europe tour will happen, I promise. How long have I been a full-time artist? From almost 3 years now. 2 and change, really, but almost 3 years. That's awesome that you're naming the shit the Midday Moon. That's fucking great. Black on Both Sides is definitely my favorite Most Def record. I don't really listen to a lot of his other stuff. DA in the house. Go DA Penguins all day. What's the decal on my shirt? Oh, it's my friend's clothing company, Hide and Seek. It's Byron McCoy. He's a really awesome dude who makes screen prints clothes in his garage in Helena, Montana. It's a cool dude. Trust me, I'm trying to play the UK. The UK is tough to play. UK is tough like America. It's real tough to play. It's tough to get a foot in there, and it's really expensive and cost prohibitive, and we don't have a booking agent there. I'm trying to, like, I want to play everywhere. Like, I want to play everywhere, and so I try as much as I can to play wherever I can get shows. And so as soon as I can get shows there and not totally lose my ass, and like then I'll be there. But right now it's still a little cost prohibitive. But I think the way that this record is going, that's probably going to change. Do I have any Midwest shows planned? Go to Astronautalis.com, dummy. Good lord. I'm going to sell some of the pre-sale merch at the shows, the shirt and the bandana. I do have the beats for Midday Moon on my Mac. I'm not going to email them to you. Yes, there'll be all sorts of new merch that's going to be at the shows. Slow down. Okay. Who did the female vocals on Gaston Avenue? I'm not going to tell you that. You need to figure that out yourself. Hey, it's me, the kid from the Princeton show. That's good. I have all the say when it comes to merchandising. The only thing that's the limitation is the money. I mean, you're looking at my entire corporation, and Harpoon Larry's probably still in the chat room watching this whole thing, laughing his ass off right now. Yeah, it's... Oh, Rob Hoffman. There you go. I didn't even look at your name. Hey, I know what's up. How's it going, man? Yeah, I have a say over everything in my career. There's like 5 people that are working on my record at any given time. It's not like a huge corporation is telling me what I can and can't do. That's why I stay fucking indie, so I don't have to put up with that shit. It's not hard to figure out who did the female vocals in Gaston Avenue, but I'm not going to tell you. You need to do that yourself. It's really not hard to figure out, though, I promise. Opening act is changing from region to region. We're not announcing the opening act yet. I did not record Dang while I was staying with someone named Blake. I recorded Dang at my parents' house. I would love to make a song with Tobacco. Who's Genevieve? She's actually a true character. Genevieve was a little girl, a little French, Quebecois girl who Robert Nelson tried to save. It was like kind of the first young person that he tried to save. Everybody who had come to him before was an older person, and that kind of changed the game completely. And he really fell in love with this girl and did everything to try and save her, and that's sort of what kind of brought the whole thing crashing down. Atlantic Canada. I'll probably play Halifax at some point again. I played there years ago. I'd love to come back. I love Halifax. I am totally American. You can totally shake my hand. Give me a high five too. I would love to make a song with Serengeti. He's totally awesome. Serengeti's brilliant. He's one of my favorite rappers out there right now. Yeah, fuck Henry David Thoreau. I'm still trying to come to Hawaii, I promise. What will be my set length? 600 hours. What kind of question is that? Come on. I don't know what Knock Steady Live is. Tim and Eric is really funny. I do actually have the dang tattoo. I don't really drink a lot of beer. My favorite, to be honest, my favorite beer is Bud Light. The video for Contrails, I think, is going to come out on the 22nd or 23rd. We're trying to put it out like the day that the tour starts, the day before the tour starts. I have not heard the Pretty Lights remix. My set length is going to be a set length. It's probably an hour and change. Depends on how much I talk. Is Tegan in the video? Yes, Tegan is in the video. It's totally ill. Sorry, man, I'm just not a beer drinker. I like fancy whiskey and cheap beer. I like Mexican beer. And I like Czech beer. If I'm gonna go like really balls out, I really will like drink tons of Czech beer. I love Staropramen. And I like Bavarian beer as well too. I can't get down with super thick stuff. I like Pils stuff, and I like the Hells from Augustiner. It's really good. So okay. Well, if I ask those dudes at Knock Steady to have me perform, I'll perform on it. Go Gold Bordello is incredible, totally. I don't know how much tickets are in Atlanta. You should probably just ask the venue. You think I memorize all my ticket prices? Come on, y'all. How did I get involved with Tegan and Sarah? That's good, because we're getting the contrails, right? We're in contrails? That's where we're at? Yeah. My booking agent, who was a fantastic man named David Strunk, used to be the assistant to Tegan and Sarah's booking agent. And he knew I was a big fan, and I was living in Seattle, and he was like, oh, they have this show coming up, and they don't have an opening act for it. I'm going to try to get you on it. And we had just started working with him. He hadn't done anything for us yet. And we were like, yeah, whatever, buddy. Like, that's never going to happen. And so we had shows booked in Texas for like a 4th of July show. Some of you may remember this. We had to push a 4th of July show back 2 weeks. And it was because he got us this show, and it turns out that Sarah was a fan of my music. And so they were like, yeah, sure, let's see how he does. And I played a show, and at the time, we played at the Showbox at the Marketplace in Seattle, and it was like 1,500 people. That was the biggest concert I'd ever played in my entire life. And I had never played before that many people before, and me and my laptop and a tie. And it was awesome. The show was great, and Tegan and Sarah and her whole band were like super pumped about it. And I talked to both of them each independently for about 45 minutes or so, and we all just got along really, really well. And apparently, like a week and a half later, they had to decide who they wanted to take on their European tour, and everybody, like from their management to the band to everybody, was just like, yeah, we got to take Astronautalis, like no question. And so they took me to Europe, and we all just became really good friends on that European tour. Like really, they're just some of the most incredibly supportive people. I mean, the amount of stuff that those two girls have done to help out my career is priceless. After that, they asked me to play some Canadian dates, and then they asked me to play Australia. Like they've kind of gone above and beyond. Like there's thousands of bands that they could choose from, and that would help them make more money on their tour, and they are taking money basically out of their own pockets to bring me on tour. Like I can't say enough nice things about them. And so I wanted to make the songs with them, and I was really nervous to ask them, like even though they're my friends, and like everyone was like, dude, just ask, like they're your friends, like just ask. I got really nervous, so I got real drunk one night and sent him an email. And Sarah couldn't do it because she was real busy with some other stuff, and which is the way it goes. And Tegan like just totally hammered it out, and it was just incredible. Yeah, uh, that was a pretty amazing thing when I was in the studio with John Congleton, the producer of the record, and I got the files for that song, the first time we heard them, it just blew my mind. It was like changing the game of the song. Um, uh, Tell Phil Rogers that I said hi. um, did I co-write Contrails? I wrote all of the lyrics. My friend Broken, who's a really fantastic beat maker from Salt Lake City, you should follow him on Twitter. He just started a Twitter page today because I finally made him, and it's Broken SLC. His beats are fucking bananas. He's kind of unknown right now, and I tell you, he gave me a beat tape, and it was impossible to decide. And so he gave me what was kind of a skeleton. This is kind of important to talk about all the songs. I'd have these producers give me sort of skeletons of songs or sort of loose shapes of songs, and then I would take them in parts, like have them all separated into individual tracks in Pro Tools, and then we would add tons of live instruments to them and start kind of peeling away and replacing and adding stuff. So sometimes the songs ended up really far away, like the Laserbeak song changed a lot. The Alias song didn't change too much. Contrails changed a bunch in kind of structure and arrangement, but didn't change too much in overall sound. Just added some live drums and a lot of mixing changes and stuff. Um, uh, well, like the premise of Contrails is sort of a classic revenge song. I got a pretty bad heartbreak happened to me a couple years back, and it's sort of about the whole nature of the thing. And yeah, it's how to talk about that. Um, a lot of times people are dishonest with other people because they're dishonest with themselves. And this girl that I was pretty crazy about, I don't think she really even knew what she wanted or what she was getting into, and so she kind of led me wrong as well too. It ended pretty badly, but I kind of knew it was going to end. And I think sometimes when you're in a relationship with somebody, or you're just starting in a relationship with somebody, sometimes you have that moment where you just like you can see you have a connection with them, and you realize, like, you think in the back of your head one of two things. I think everybody kind of goes through this. You know, you can think like, man, I'm gonna totally break your fucking heart, and you think that in the back of your head, but you press on anyway because you hope it doesn't happen. And then other times you look at them and you go, man, you're gonna totally break my fucking heart, and you press on anyway because you don't want that to be the case. You want to be wrong, but you don't care, so you keep going. And that's sort of the parallel with the mountain climbing, the idea that, like, you do it just to do it, you know. Um, you do it because you have to. Favorite form of exercise or sports? I love riding my bike. I miss surfing too. I'm not going to tell you who's the female vocals on lakefront property. You can find that out yourself. Um, Contrails is not a reference to the chemtrails idea. I didn't even know that existed. Contrails is just the reference to the contrails, the actual trails. There's a difference between chemtrails and contrails. Contrails are the actual thing that comes behind the plane. It's just the idea of leaving a trail. And then sort of a pun on the idea of con. Um, I asked Tegan and Sarah both to do the track, and Sarah had some stuff come up at the last minute, and she wasn't able to do it, so it was just Tegan, which was totally rad too. Um, they're not guest vocals. Come on, guys. Let's put two and two together here. Uh, I'm doing something that's going to be really cool. It's not going to be in New Orleans. It's actually going to be just outside of New Orleans. It's going to be really cool on this tour. I can't announce it yet, but I will be announcing it soon. Stay tuned. It's going to be fucking awesome, and it's going to be not like any other show. Um, I do think that the chorus and the melodies of Contrails and River of the Woods are a bit similar. Totally. Um, and that's me. Ben doesn't sing on Secrets on Our Lips. That's just me. Um, where are you? I'm in my bedroom in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Um, we don't have a name for the Four Fists record yet. It's not Voodoo Fest. Um, it's a little chilly. It's not super cold. I am a Saul Williams fan. Is that great verse that's on the end of the Black Delicious record where he describes there's nothing. He's talking about an airplane and using something to describe it, like there's nothing less likely to fly than the giant hunk of metal, and that's just such a beautiful, beautiful description. Um, I don't know who Sikasera is. Um, I can't come on here every night and talk to you. This is a little stressful. Yeah, I don't really shoot for a specific genre. Um, I know that a lot of people will make fun of me for this, but I do like Ayn Rand and I like Atlas Shrugged. Maybe one day. I don't know. We'll get there. Yeah, there's a lot of books out there. Um, I love Buck. He's great. I'm probably going to go with this live stream for another 30 minutes. We're getting close to the wrap it up. But I'm going to be doing this. Of course, I'm an A$AP Rock fan. Of course, I like Buck 65. I like A$AP Rock. I like Anticon. I'm a 29-year-old white indie rapper. Of course, I like all of this stuff. I grew up on Rhymesayers and all those guys and Sage Francis. I saw them all on their first tours. Of course, I like all that. All of that. Ta-da. Um, uh, Thank you. I really like that first verse on Contrails. I actually been sitting on that verse for quite a long time. I'm sure Chesky and I will go on tour at some point in time. He's one of my favorite live acts ever. He's one of my favorite friends. He owns the record label that I'm on. He's a brilliant musician. He's my most disliked musician. There ain't no gossip column. Um, I did not write the piano piece on Secrets on Our Lips. Chad Stockschlager wrote that. Radical Face wrote most of the music, and then Chad added the piano to that. He's a really talented musician from Denton in Dallas, Texas. He plays in a band called King Bucks. He's a beautiful, beautiful piano player, and has one of the most beautiful voices I've ever heard. Hey, bye, Crystal Bell. Hey, what's up, young baby Ander? Peace, y'all. Chanel, hi Chanel, how's it going? Is there a lyric that stands out on the album? Yeah. Um, I love the beginning of the second verse of Contrails. What kind of fools are stupid to climb a mountain to do it, then climb back down to the town without a picture to prove it. I knew it. I love that. I'm really proud of that part. I spent forever on that, and I really like the parts on Thomas Jefferson too. Like those are those are the those are real. I'm still a rapper at heart, so I still really love technically, tight patterny stuff. Um, yeah, I do play fantasy football. I'm commissioning one league this year, and I'm in another actually. Yeah, it's a mountain climbing book reference. Conquistadors of the Useless, Lionel Tarre. Um, you did just get wrapped out. I hope you're okay. What did my parents do? My father was much like me. He was kind of a drifter. He kicked out of college for punching a professor once, and then was in the army and raced Porsches, and then drove trains um, and worked in the rail industry for about 30 years. And now he is a stockbroker. My mother was a photographer and worked odd jobs as well too, and hearing and vision tester in public schools and stuff. And then she went back to school, and I think she finally graduated. I think she graduated from college when she was 30 or 49. and got a degree in graphic design, and she became a graphic designer, and she just retired on Friday, which is pretty awesome. Super stoked for my mom. There are so many jobs that you can half-ass work at. You can half-ass work at being an artist. Tons of people do that too. Let's talk about holy water. Yeah, we haven't got to secrets on holy water. Let's do holy water. My parents aren't super wacky. My parents are just really supportive. You're up in Portugal? You're in Portugal? We're in Portugal. I want to come play Portugal. God damn it, I want to play Lisbon so bad. Yeah, Cecil and I are real similar in person. We have a secret side project that we're working on one day. We're not done with contrails yet. Do you have a contrails question, the KMA theory, real quick, and then we'll move on? KMA theory, got a contrails question? Going once, going twice. Gone. Let's just scroll back. We'll do this again. I'm gonna try to do this every like 2 weeks or so on tour and stuff. Tegan is totally awesome. Tegan's the most awesome. I get asked about what Tegan and Sarah are like all the time, and I cannot emphasize this enough. They are so fantastic. They've done so much for me. They've been so good to me, and they're also just not just artistically. Like, I was a fan of their music before I went on tour with them, but then watching how they make a business and how they make their art into a business and still maintain the integrity of their art, still maintain their own personal integrity and political integrity, and run a beautiful business. It's pretty awesome. I'm not gonna freestyle. Yeah. There's no banjo on Holy Water. That's a koto. I played that. And I wrote all the music for Holy Water. I became a fan of Tegan and Sarah because I heard Walking with a Ghost on satellite radio one night on a really late night drive through Wyoming. Bluebird's handsome as ever. He's actually in Florida right now finishing up his record that me and Radical Face produced. I'm number 9. I beat Tupac. I beat Tupac. Bah! I beat Tupac on his death day. That's so ill. Holy shit. Bah! Number 9. That's so crazy. Today's the memorial of Tupac's death, and I sold more than his greatest hits. That's fucking nuts. You guys are the best. I fucking love you guys so much. This is what I've been doing all day, but you guys haven't been able to see it. I've just been doing this all day. It's like, what? 10? No way! 13? No way! Holy shit. That's so rad. Okay, let's focus. We're gonna try to land this plane here. We're getting down on the home stretch. Holy water questions. Holy water questions? Holy water questions. I wasn't really raised in a religion. My parents are pretty agnostic. I play the koto terribly. I didn't learn how to play the koto. I taught myself. You just pluck the strings. Boing, boing, boing. Sample them and make it work, you know? Boing, one note, play it. Boing, one note. Like that. Who are my songs about? They're about you, Lady Girl 3. My inspiration for Holy Water was Isaac Newton. 2 things. Isaac Newton, and there's a repeated inspiration. Holy Water, there's a reference also to it in The River of the Woods. Yeah. I forget his name. Condamine was his last name. He led an expedition to measure the globe, which you'll also see tied into the measure of the globe. It's sort of a repeat theme throughout the whole record, kind of sprinkled in there. As he led this expedition to try to measure the globe. They were going to go to these French scientists went to Peru to try and measure 1 degree of longitude, to then multiply by 360 to try to measure the entire width of the globe, and they all died. It was a total disaster. And something no one really knows why they went there, why they went to Peru, and instead of doing it in France or anything like that. Yeah, and it was I like the arbitrary nature of it, them just doing it because they thought they had to. Like, this is what they had to do, as opposed to maybe doing the smartest thing. And tying all that in with holy water as well, like Isaac Newton, for everything that he did that was really amazing and important in its contribution to science. Like, he also like practiced alchemy and believed in this religion that was like involved in like ancient temple worship, sort of kind of weird Masonic, satanic kind of thing. And he would like, he had mercury in his hair when he died. Like he put a needle in his eye just to see what would happen. Like put a sewing bodkin like right in the space between your eye and your eye socket, just kind of moved it around. He stared at the sun for hours and like it was just this is sort of kind of like the heart of where I started with the record, and kind of before I got it into its final place was like um, uh, uh, I'm in 99 in the top 100. Sorry guys, I have to kind of focus you out if I want to answer a question sometimes. That's so crazy. I broke the top 100. What? Wow. Fuck. Uh, that's crazy. Man. That's man. Yeah, wow, what a trip. Cheers, y'all. That's cool. I know a song's finished when I just can't think of anything else to do with it. Um, let me finish the holy water story. How? So, the idea of, I don't know, the biggest like inspiration for the whole record was like the scientists of the Age of Enlightenment. And it was a time when everybody knew so much about the Earth. They discovered physics. They knew the Earth was very old. They knew it wasn't flat. They discovered gravity. They discovered chemistry. They discovered geology, but they didn't really know how to go beyond this. And they were just set out to like setting themselves on fire and drinking poison. And the Curies were wearing polonium around their necks. And Isaac Newton was sticking needles in his eye. And people were huffing carbon monoxide and just killing themselves to try to make discoveries. And that felt a lot like the artistic process and like the idea of making a career in art, where uh, you don't really know what you're doing. There's no guidebook on how to make a career in art or music. You just do it, and you do it just because you have to do it. There's no other way for you to do anything else, and everything else feels wrong and stupid, and you just keep going. And even if it kills you, and even when you're sleeping on couches and living off ramen noodles and you're getting paid nothing, and you just keep going. A lot of you probably seen the inserts to the album if you've seen a physical copy of the record yet, and some of you probably haven't. The map that's in there is me tracing the entire route of touring that I've done over the last 7 years. It's all and all the hash marks are all the shows. It's almost 1,000 shows, and it's pretty much every place that I've played and all the miles that I've driven and the 500,000 miles that me and Harvey and Larry have gone, and with the help of a lot of other people. And the idea of just being pushed and not by something intangible, like that it's hope. It's just hope that it'll work that pulls you forward, and that's like the start of that song. While that song I think is definitely the darkest sounding song on the record, it is most assuredly the most optimistic song. Um, I like to do that. I like to make real pretty subjects into really scary songs. Um, so that's Holy Water. Any more questions about Holy Water? Pre-orders are shipping this week, probably like tomorrow or the next day. It's only 2 guys that are trying to handle it all, and you guys bought a lot of them, so we're trying to fucking hammer it all out. I love the Pac verse, where he's talking about shooting out the window, the cop slice peeling off. I love that verse. It's good to see you, Dracula. Holy Water actually started with a totally different piece of music, and that music eventually became a beat. It's really pretty. It's a beautiful, like real super ultra pretty, and it actually became a beat on the Bluebird record that I just made beats for. I shifted it once I got that Kodo line. I changed it because it just felt better on that pattern. That it's hope that has me staring. It just worked much better. I don't know where I was when Pac died. I know this is blasphemous, but Pac was not that significant to me as a rapper. Like I was not really up on Pac when he was alive, like most people actually. Pac sold so many more records after he died. He was not nearly as popular. Everyone likes to pretend like they all love Pac when he was alive, but most people, it was not nearly as huge as everyone likes to think he was. Um, my inspiration for astigmatism is the idea that like my vision is going bad, and I sort of have this weird relation. And I'm colorblind as well. About the idea that I'm losing my vision and I'm going colorblind because I accidentally killed a praying mantis once when I was a little kid, because that's against the law. Yeah. Um, Thunderbird Motel and Secrets on Our Lips is real. Everything in Secrets on Our Lips is a true story. A lot of the stuff that's in this, the Measure of the Globe is a true story. Contrails is a true story. Like a lot of this shit's all true stories. Yeah, every ounce of Secrets on Our Lips is a true story. It's a couple of different true stories combined into one. It's not one whole story. Um, Sometimes lyrics are done before the beat. Sometimes the beat's done before the lyrics. It's different for every song. I don't have a set way of writing a song. The beat certainly helps. I'm really much more melody driven and pattern driven than I am like bass line driven or anything like that. So if a beat has melodic change, it's going to be a lot easier for me to write too. Why do I have laundry hanging from my bookshelf? Because I'm packing. You stop me in the middle of packing. I have leave for tour at 6:30 in the morning tomorrow. Shut up, Knobs. Everybody say hello to Navi Nux. He plays the machine in my band. Okay, Secrets on Our Lips. Um, I'm not going to go into a lot of details on Secrets on Our Lips because it's a true story and there's a certain amount of uh, need to kind of protect the innocent. Um, uh, yeah, that's the pilot's son. Navi Nux is the pilot's son right there. Secrets on Our Lips is about like the idea of like privacy is a real hot commodity in my life because I'm on tour and I'm always around people and I'm always like in a room with somebody. I'm never alone, and so you have this compulsion. A lot of like musicians that tour a lot. A lot of my friends have kind of gone through the same thing. You have this compulsion to kind of like sneak away and find privacy and keep secrets, and you find yourself becoming more secretive and private and controlling of your personal life as you become a little bit more famous. And I found it sort of kind of becoming out of hand, and that's sort of about those processes. When it's starting to become kind of you're kind of keeping secrets for no reason. But then also like part of it too is like there's something it's complicated like because there's something that's really beautiful about like just keeping a secret for yourself and keeping it so it makes it important and special to you forever. Like I'm not really I'm not a kiss and tell kind of guy, and I'm not ever that's not really my style. So there's something sometimes that's really nice about like you just keeping something sacred all on your own. What do I do on the road to mellow out? I watch Sports Center. I listen to podcasts. I already have one music video made for Contrails. I'm going to try to make more for more records. How do you handle the constant flow of faces? You just remember how fucking great your job is. You know, like when it gets you down, no matter what, it's better. This job on its worst day is better than any other job on its best day. One league, my fantasy football quarterback is Michael Vick, and the other one is Matt Schaub. I would not hang with a group if you didn't know how to spell sneak. I'm definitely coming to Australia again. Um, yes, you can buy me a drink in Vegas. Jim Beam on the rocks, splash of water. Philip. Fuck you, Philip. Philip G is the Prince of Mayport. He's one of my oldest friends. Give a shout out to Philip G. It's pretty amazing that I inspire people that I've met around the world. There's a lot of people that I've never met that inspire me, and it's pretty exciting to know that I get to do that. The podcasts I listen to, I listen to Radiolab, I listen to This American Life, I listen to Around the Horn, PTI, and the Dinner Party Download. I also like the BS Report, and I listen to Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me. Bye. That didn't take place in Marfa. It took place in Montana. The Thunderbird Motel is in Montana that I was at, and I've never seen her or talked to her again. I played Warped Tour 2003, 2004, 2005. Wow. I don't really keep a lot of written records. Most of my journaling I do in public for everybody else to see. Number 90 on the 100s? That's crazy. Come on, really? Nah, get out of here. That's so stupid. What? Why? Why would that happen? That's insane. Oh, man. Come on, really? That's ridiculous. Holy shit. Why am I have so many? That's crazy. I gotta go look at this. Hold on one second. You guys talk amongst yourselves. Um, Oh, Tupac beat me out again. I'm back down to 10. God damn you, Tupac. uh, did anybody get a screen capture when I was up at 9? Because that would be really nice. Because I would like to get that. And then where am I? I'm at 90. I'm back down to 101. Pac beat me again. God damn you, Pac. Um, I hope that I'm not very Manilow famous. I hope that I'm not so famous that I cannot go to the grocery store. I do not ever want to be that famous. That is definitely not my goal. I want to be famous enough that I can pay off my debts and buy a nice little house, and eventually maybe one day raise a family and never have to work a real job. What was Roach's question? How many units on iTunes have you sold today? I do not know, actually. I don't know what any of those numbers mean. I won't know until I get a accounting report. Yeah, I have no idea. I'm 29 years old. The cozy is actually from Prince of Mayport gave me this. This is the Idaho Falls Chuckers. He used to work for this minor league baseball team, but now he works for the Bakersfield Blaze. If he is the assistant general manager of the Bakersfield Blaze, I would appreciate a Bakersfield Blaze koozie, and I can use it on this. I do not have. You're looking at my own studio. It's called my bedroom. I don't know. I might do a song with Chaos. He's a cool dude, man. That tour went real well, but it's sometimes it's tough. It's not those things don't just fall together. The printed blog is awesome. Thanks. Check it out. Printed blog right there. It's a pretty cool magazine from Chicago. I can't wait to see next year's hats, Philip. Do I live with anybody? Yeah, I live with my friend Andy and my friend Vicky. Two Andys. Oh, awesome. Thanks for the screenshot there, Balling the Jack. Screen names are so funny. Look at me, number 9 on that shit. And One for the Money is intentionally short. One for the Money, the whole reason One for the Money is because iTunes it made it just I was going to put that on the end of Lift the Curse anyway, but then I just made it its own track because iTunes gives you fucking problems with like scanning your album and stuff if it's only a 10-song record. It doesn't scan it as a full record, and then it doesn't go for the same thing with sound scans. It was a fucking business decision. It's stupid. I wasn't happy about it, but it had to be done. What's my screen name? Astronautalis. It's my screen name for everything. My favorite female artist. I have a huge, gigantic love for Joanna Newsom, even though her last album was just over the top and insanely self-indulgent. I really, really love Florence and the Machine right now. Like I can't get enough of that record. Um, yeah, those are two of my big favorites. I like Tegan and Sarah a lot. I love Sarah Jaffe. That's the reason why I worked with both of them. Um, and I also yeah, Khaki King is dope. Um, Good Records is definitely my favorite record store. Dessa is fucking ill. Come on, man. Um, yes, I read Neil Gaiman. I'm Never Right is actually a sort of about parts of that or concepts that I could borrow from American Gods. Um, I would love to do a collaboration with Florence and Machines. Love to. Love to. Um, Sarah Jaffe is not on Gaston Avenue. Um, I plan on doing what I'm doing a long time. I asked if Red Cat's Cradle. Yes, I listened to Mountain Goats. Best ever death metal band out of Den. Um, I, I draw like I do design stuff. Uh, Lift the Curse is okay. Let's do Lift the Curse. Um, Podcasts. Okay, look, here's the podcasts: Radio Lab, This American Life, Pardon the Interruption, Around the Horn, The BS Report, The Dinner Party Download. Wait, wait, don't tell me. We had a couple more when we're on tour because you just got to fill the fucking void. But those are the ones I listen to regularly. Oh, and the Tony Kornheiser Show. It's a lot of sports, a lot of science, and a little bit of nerd shit. Um, Lift the Curse was a beat made by Cecil Otter. The band's not that big. A lot of it was Cecil Otter stuff, um, and uh, uh, and then we added some lab drums and added some lab strings and a couple little, and then had a Chad Stockslinger sing fourth edition D&D. Had Chad Stockslinger sing on it a bit. That's another song that's sort of about like the weird kind of addiction and dependency that I developed with my job and with my fans, and how they sort of fill a kind of a void in my personal life. Yeah, it's sometimes really weird to spend all your life on tour, going everywhere where people know who you are, and then all of a sudden just be a normal person again. It's a weird juxtaposition. And even though I'm not famous, I am a little well known, and so it's a weird transition to go in and out of that. And so that's sort of talking about like the addiction and dependency that I have on my fans and my life and my career and my like in the public eye, and also just kind of reconciling that and how fantastic and strange and beautiful that is. Amanda Palmer's ill. She's real cool. I've never seen Jersey Shore. Chaos will take over the world as soon as possible. I'm good friends with a lot of fans actually. I've become really good friends with a lot of fans. I write more about how much I love life. I'm a pretty relentlessly optimistic person. I have no special plans for the Halloween show in Raleigh yet. Um, Rain Dog is my favorite Tom Waits record. I've heard of Tom Pike. My inspiration for the album cover was an idea that I had. I wanted Jamie to do it from Axe and Apple to make it for me. I wanted to be like a conquistador. I wanted to feel like I was conquering the fucking world. I wanted it to look like I was conquering the fucking world. I wanted it to make me feel powerful. Like the goal of the record is always to make me and make the audience and make the listener feel fucking powerful. I wanted to feel fucking powerful. And so it was a little terrifying to take that picture. It was really kind of terrifying to put my face on an album cover. I'd never done that before. Um, but I really love the way it turned out. I love Minneapolis. It's my favorite city in America. 4th of July is kind of a weird connection to this record, actually. Sort of a similar feeling of like when you're feeling just so excited about something, you want to run so fast that your skin blows off your body. It's kind of a weird concept, but yeah, that's pretty much what it's about. I have read a little bit about John Harrison, but only like nothing directly about him, just stuff that was mentioned kind of as a tertiary element of a book or something. I like vinyl over everything, yes. I would collaborate with Slug if the song was good. What should you do in Minnesota? You should go eat and drink at Muddy Waters. You should watch Plain Old Bill DJ somewhere. You should shop at the resale. You should get fish at the anchor, and you should go walk along the river. I was never really a huge Nine Inch Nails fan. It was not really my scene. Um, I mean, I respect the dudes, but it's not really my stuff. Yes, we can high five so much. Yeah, and you got to get a Juicy Lucy faux show. Um, if you're in Denton, go to Rubber Gloves. Problem solved. Favorite Hitchcock movie is North by Northwest. I would be interested in doing. No problem, Sean. Thanks for the bullet bourbon. Um, how did I discover the proper? My homie Court Hightower was friends with one of the guys that was cutting hair there, and I needed a haircut in LA, and we all needed a haircut, and told me to go there. Um, how I feel about SMU football, I feel like it's pretty awesome that the Mustangs are slowly coming back. Go Mustangs, go Ponies. Yeah. Um, Posse cut question. I'm a little too frazzled. I would love to do a Flaming Lips collaboration. Um, Cloud Stays Metallic was definitely one of my most important uh, records for me in high school. I don't go to Burns. I never have. I'm not opposed to the idea. It's just not. I've never really gone. Favorite shoegaze artists, without a doubt, is Ride. Ride. Vapor Trails. Come on, it's incredible. I do. I wish I had a poster of Donna Hickett in my closet. Um, if I could go anywhere in the world, like I really, really want to go to Southern Europe, like Macedonia and Croatia and those places. Oh my God, slow roll. I don't drive. I have a car. I don't have a car. I ride my bike. Um, Short-term memory loss is about how I almost crashed off the Matthews Bridge in Jacksonville, Florida. Um, I like some drone stuff. I'm not into tons of drone stuff. I would love to come to Albania. You should paint your apartment like a real pale yellow. Um, listen to the song Polar Bear by Ride or listen to Vapor Trails. Um, no, New Jersey is not my least favorite state in the union. Um, tell your friend that he should stop being an idiot and just come to the show. Um, oh my God, so Avalanche Patrol is about Avalanche Patrol. That is ridiculous. Um, you're so close on that Movement magazine. You're so close. Come to San Francisco, yes. How big is my dot dot dot? It's about as big as an ellipsis. I don't know if I'm Dutch. I think I'm pretty much Scottish and Polish. Um, I would love to have a Princeton show again. Uh, yeah, their tests aren't graded because you have priorities, Caitlin. That's totally worth it. My favorite song is definitely Avalanche Patrol. My favorite to play live right now is Holy Water. What am I doing when I log off? I'm gonna go for a bike ride and get a drink with some friends. I do use Q-tips, of course. I gotta keep my goddamn ears clean. The song I consider my single. I don't really know how to answer that. Yeah, Throne was nice though. It was a nice touch. My head chest is pretty hairy. I never. Well, maybe I owned one Bugle Boy shirt when I was a kid. What do you do when you settle down? I read. I ride my bike. Sure, I come to Eastern Michigan. I drink cheap beer. Yes, I have seen the Polish Monument. Walking Off is not a euphemism. Favorite song of Bad Times You is Future Shock. Is that what it's called? Yeah, yeah. The first one. The first one. Yeah. More LP tweets, the more that I ride the buses. Deodorant's totally normal, but I use Tom's main. Kanye West is alright. I'm not gonna dress up as Ben Franklin. I have read on Nikola Tesla as well. I'm glad you like Kiss Waves, but Dostoevsky. I've never read any Dostoevsky. If one day I will, he's on my list. I have definitely been streaking. What do I drink? I drink whiskey. I drink tea. I drink coffee. I drink water. Bicycle, bicycle, bicycle. Ride an old Schwinn varsity that I'm slowly souping up into being really fucking badass. I think e-readers are slowly, I'm warming up to them as I carry around 1,000-page books all the time. I'll take egg sandwiches as long as the bread's toasted. Favorite Beatles album? White Album. Oh my God, Charles Bukowski fan. I like some Charles Bukowski. I don't think that I like Charles Bukowski actually a lot. I think his fans are a little annoying sometimes. Story behind Mr. Blessington. It's the story of the song. Thoughts on Faulkner. I think I really want to love Faulkner. I try so hard to love Faulkner, but he is a tough read, and one day I will settle down and actually do read him. I think the Idea and Abilities album by the Third is fantastic. Yep, Charles Bukowski. I already talked about that. Yes, I love Richard Brautigan. Love Richard Brautigan. Confederate General Big Sur is brilliant. Richard Brautigan is one of the most slept-on writers ever. Kubrick, I think, is overrated. I think he's got some brilliant stuff, but I don't think he's the greatest director of all time. John Steinbeck is a genius. Funniest thing that happened to me at a live show while performing, I've had underwear thrown at me. I had a bra thrown at me in Berlin, and I caught it in midair. I don't think Bukowski is awful. I think you got to just take his misogyny within context. All artists have their good sides and their bad sides. Nobody's perfect. You don't apologize for it. You accept them as two separate things. Favorite book is Winter's Tale, but by Mark Helprin. I can't get into Tom Robbins. Terry Pratchett's all right. Terry Steinbeck was the best Punishment ever, right? Good. I'm glad you know that story. Ingmar Bergman is really pretty fantastic. Favorite poem is The Wind Hover by Gerard Manley Hopkins. Like least favorite race. Fucking asshole. Tennessee Williams is great. Yes, let's see the Seventh Seal. I thought the Astronautalis name was cool. Robert Frost has got some awesome stuff. Yeah. Douglas Adams is great. Wow, we're just doing that. Is that what we're doing now? We're just rattling off things and I'm saying yes or no? Whew. I thought Astronautalis was just a cool name when I was 15. My favorite shapeshifter. Oof. I don't hate Tom Cruise. I would probably change my name now if I could. I love Eddie Izzard. Favorite shapeshifter? That's tough, man. Yeah. AWOL is pretty ill. Existeria is pretty ill, too. Alright. No, I do not think Astronautalis is a cool name. Okay. Everybody, let's slow down. We're going to stop. 45 caliber. Cake. Flight. Schwinn Varsity. Shirt stays on. Okay. Anthony, what's your opinion on Johnny Walker Black? I love you for that. Of course, Lady Gorilla's Oscar. I'm not wearing shoes. Alright, guys. Let's stop. I'm done. This is just so dumb. This is getting out of hand. Alright, guys. I think you're all fucking incredible. Today has been really amazing for me. I didn't think that any of this was going to happen, and it all happened today. It's a lot for me to take in one day, and it's been really awesome talking to you. I'm going to do this again more out on tour, and I'll do it in the hotel room, and the whole gang will be there. It'll be super fun. Um, this has been totally insane and pretty awesome. So I'm definitely going to do this again. No matter what, it's really important. I can't say this enough. We don't have an advertising team. We don't have advertisements. All I have is you guys. And the fact that we were able to accomplish what we accomplished today with just you guys and Twitter and Facebook and then like the 4 or 5 people that are working on my record just out of their homes and out of their tiny offices is fucking unbelievable. It's totally unbelievable, and it's really overwhelming for me, and I have a lot to think about in regards to it. But no matter what, it's a really amazing confirmation for me that I made the music that I wanted to make. I made it really well. I worked my fucking ass off, and you guys were always there, and you gave a damn, and I've always prided myself on how awesome my fan base is, and you guys fucking proved it today. So thanks. That was pretty fucking incredible. I'll see you guys on the road. I'll see you soon. I'll see you back here in a bit. See you on Facebook. See you on Twitter. I'm out.